What you got, Henry? Something I haven't. What could that possibly be?
M. Henry Jones, Club 57. This side up.
All right.
Well, and it doesn't look like it's stored correctly. And then it says,
does everything in this place does not look like it's being stored correctly,
It
Henry?
says, must keep upright. Meanwhile, it's tipped.
All right.
Okay,
The
but
one box that says must keep upright and you have it tilted.
Right, exactly. But anyway,
That's not going to be like a human head or something, is
no,
it?
it's better. No,
Oh,
it
right.
kind of is. It's very human head-like. It's much like a human head.
Oh, I know who that guy is. Holy smokes. That's fantastic. I think I have a smaller version of that you gave to me or whatever. I have a little 8x10 one of that. And I love it. Why don't you have that hanging up? You got to look at me every single day.
Well, I'm not opposed to hanging it up.
Tell me this.
This only came back to Snake Monkey about 2 weeks ago.
It's getting a glare. Let's do it like that.
You've seen this one, right?
Some time ago, yeah.
That is fantastic.
Lenticular,
And tell me what this is called. It's a lenticular what?
This is a lenticular three-dimensional photo of normal Bob Smith
I have video.
as a devil.
I have video of when we took this picture where I'm sitting in the stool and it's turning around and you can hear the director.
That's the only video that ever went off of my website.
What do you mean went off of the website?
Like you can't see the video anymore.
Okay. Well, I have it and I'll put it with this. That's fascinating. I love that.
That's good. Well, it's yours for sale.
How much does that sell for?
What do you think we'd sell this for, Mr. Gordon?
Jeez, what is it? It's a lenticular sheet.
Yeah.
And let's see, I think the Mark's Zero Skull.
My mom could hang that in her bedroom.
4,000.
That sounds right. I think
About 4,000 bucks.
But that means that Ronnie's taking half of that. So that's
Yeah.
commission
All
about
right.
50.
All right.
So straight sales. But you shouldn't undercut your dealers.
Well, what we'll do is I'll show a video online and people will find out the price.
Yeah.
Somewhere around $4,000 or $5,000 if they want it.
Yeah.
And it could be theirs. We will do it. Looks great. It's 3D. It looks so sharp.
It looks really good. And
it's
it's not scratched.
Is it a one of a kind?
This is an absolute one of a
Hey,
kind.
what's going on? Is there something that you need to get to?
All right.
Her carpet, her rug?
Great. Oh, I'm
All
glad
right,
to
let me
see
put
that.
the rug
I was
up.
wondering.
I will put this. Here, inside. She likes this little.
Yeah, I see that. She runs to it every time.
No, she likes the pad. Come on, knucklehead. Okay, she'll be happy.
Tiger.
Yes, I'm the Joe Tiger. Yes, oh, Tiger.
People. I'm not always going to be where you need me to be.
Shop. It's nice to see. Got another one?
No, it's not.
Not quite.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, if I push on it,
Who is it?
that's me.
Oh, a young Henry. Holy that smokes. would be the That's deal. fascinating.
Can you see it now? That's a pretty good one. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that looks good, even though you're getting a little bit of a flare. I wonder where that flare is coming from.
It's great. How many people have a three-dimensional pit portrait of their youth?
Yeah. I was a younger man.
What year did you start doing this?
84, 1984. The Globus brothers had seen some research I had done into lenticular, and then they hired Roger de Montebello to come in and work with them to create a three-dimensional camera system that was this. And they had worked on it for 2.5 years, and they had not really accomplished enough, and they figured out that if they didn't do something to change, they wouldn't be able to
It's really pretty.
make their deadline, which was September of that year, because they have a photo show called the Photo Expo. It was the last year that they had it at the New York Coliseum.
This is
This
what the
lens-
lens looks like before it has anything put on it. And these are just a whole bunch of little fly's eyes, or whatever you want to call it.
Well, each one is a
is
lens.
an eye.
Is a lens.
Is a lens.
And it is, each one is an eye.
Have you
But
glued these together yourself?
this is what happened. We took a ball, a plastic spherical ball, and we ground the 6 sides off of it and ground the back off of it. And then my neighbor Paul in Pennsylvania,
With a machine, right?
with the machine, he built a jig so that each one of the pieces would be identical.
All right.
And they are plus or minus a thousandth of an inch identical.
All right.
And then he glued about half of it together. We did it together. Then I glued the other half here in New York. And then we glued the whole thing to a plastic sheet.
Perfectly smooth on the other side.
And the reason that it's perfectly smooth is we glued onto a plastic sheet.
I see. I see.
And then we cast this.
Oh, the finished product you cast so that you could make them easier next time, or?
Right, no, because the one that we had was made up of all these glued together.
I see. And this one
This one is made,
one solid piece of plastic.
Yeah.
I
So
see.
what we did is we built it like this and built a frame around it and then poured silicone rubber,
Okay.
which I was stunned to find out has a pattern. In other words, it can copy the shine of chrome.
Huh. Okay.
That's how amazingly accurate the molding is.
Okay.
If you do it right. And I had an
With no
advisor.
bubbles or anything.
The
That's
bubbles
something
are
I know you have
problem.
to. Yeah.
Bubbles are the things. Yeah,
That you have to
that's all
search out and surgically remove somehow
Well, no. What we do is we have 11 minutes in the middle of the pouring phase
before it hardens.
Before it hardens,
And you
so you have to go in there
With a syringe or something, or
No, I
what?
use a dental tool. I have 2 dental tools.
All right.
One's for bigger ones, one's for smaller ones.
And you go in and poke them and,
you
pull them
lift-
out.
You pull them out. You can lift them out and wipe them off onto a towel, or you can.
And you have
pop 'em.
11 minutes to do it.
Yes.
I see.
And
Okay.
you better hope you don't have too many, because
Then it's ruined and you have to start all over again.
well, if you're picking it too late in the game, it leaves these little impressions.
Yeah, little mountains or little spikes
Right,
pop out. Yeah, I know what
so,
you mean.
It's tricky. It's really tricky.
I believe it. Like before, it's put under glass.
Yes
And each
no.
one of those is going to be under a fly's eye. It's supposed to have a fly's eye over each one of those.
Yes, it will have. A lens will go on top of each of every one of these.
This is from 1983. Oh yeah, that's lovely. And turn it this way a little bit, Noah. Oh, that's great. Who is that?
Her name is Julie. She
just a
was a
friend?
girl that was at a bar, and my friend Joey Alba and I were sitting at this bar, and we were talking about the girls, and I said, I bet if I went up to her and explained the whole 3D project,
She'd want to be part of it.
we would get her to be a model.
And
he was
she
like,
agreed.
I doubt it, but it's worth a try.
And she agreed.
And so then she agreed,
And it came out lovely.
This is one of the best ones that was ever done.
What makes the fly's eye so unique too is it's not just a horizontal three-dimensional, but it's a vertical and every direction three-dimensional.
Yeah, that's true.
See if we can mess around with some sounds here.
Hi, I'm Henry Jones, and this is my good friend Roberta, and we're here to bring you around the corner to see some artwork. It's at 180 Maiden Lane.
Like that.
This contains our latest art project, which is Slatherpuss in Tompkins Park, Lenticular 3D.
Rock and roll. Here we go.
This is one of our what we call Fly's Eye Giant pictures, which is because it's 28 inches high and 21 inches across, and it was our second incarnation of the Fly's Eye technique. The first was 1/4 as big, and we made a really fantastic mold, and we were able to fabricate the lens, which is what makes the picture work. Each lens shows a tiny portion of what's behind it, and as you walk around each lens, it tracks, so that all the different lenses are presenting your eyes with all the different things that they think they're going to be seeing next, so that the muscles in your eye are tricked into seeing 3D much more than if you have a left or right. Like when you go to the 3D movies, it's more of a left or right eye. One eye sees one thing, one eye sees another. In this case, we have both eyes seeing something similar but different, and but as you walk around it, the tracking action allows each one of those little lenses to give exactly the data that the eye's expecting, so that it then uses this thing called ocular motility, which is when the muscles of the eyes are giving you 3D information, and it substantiates in your mind and your body that you're looking at something that is real. And these pictures have a certain realness that other pictures don't have because of that.
All right.
The picture itself was of one of my child's friends, and she happened to have a perfect look that day, so we just popped her in the...
Does she love it?
She loves it, yeah.
That's great. All right. Yeah. Explain to me what's going on here that makes it special.
This image is a three-dimensional picture of the trees at Tompkins Square Park, and it's unique because it's a three-dimensional image, but it's being projected through a lenticular screen that's attached to a video monitor.
And if we took that screen off, what would we see underneath? Would it be a whole bunch of little like fly's eye dots like you see, or?
Well, it would be lines.
Oh, okay.
If you take the screen off, you see lenticular lines that it looks almost, and you can barely tell what you're looking at because the screen, which attaches to it normally, reintegrates all those lines into a three-dimensional picture. So when you, what is unique about this is that it's being a 3D picture that has animation on it. And the reason it has animation is because each of the different frames are being presented both as a lenticular and as the next frame in a video sequence.
Okay.
So although the signal itself is not a video signal, normal video signal goes out 30 frames a second. This thing is someplace between 3 and 11 frames per second, and it's,
that's why it looks so smooth.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
good.
It looks so smooth because it's 3D and it's moving, but it actually looks quite good with the yellow and everything on it. I was looking at it a moment ago off axis, which we say, but when we're on axis, the 3D looks really well. You can see the tree it's definitely projecting out away from the
Yep.
tree behind it.
I do see
which
that.
is projecting away from the houses and buildings in the background. And then the Slatherpuss is sliding forward, and he is 3D on his own, and then he's also 3D in front of the tree. And that makes it particularly unusual. And the crazy part about it is it's a short film. It's the first time anyone's done animation behind Lenticular. That's Robert Parker's window guard that he made for this building when it was one of the squats.
Nice.
And, you know, it was all found metal from around the area. And it's all forged and bent in different shapes. And it's one of the last ones that's remaining. This whole area through this whole, from here right down by that building, was what they used to call Sucker's Hole, right across from the city water meter, over there. Similar to the city water meter repair. And we would come over here, and that's how we first started making metal sculptures. And was because we met Robert Parker, and his forge was right around the corner from my former shop.
All right.
Wow. Starting to rain.
Yeah, I can feel it. I tell you, when we get storms up in Michigan too, it's
I'm sure it's a
they're
different
heavy.
animal. Yeah, we had storms
Lake
in
Michigan
Texas.
and all that. Yep, yep.
We used to get them when I lived in Lamar, Texas, which is between Galveston and Houston. And we moved upstate to a little town north of Buffalo. And one day, when we'd only been living there, we got there in the late spring. And it was maybe Sunday in early summer. It was, or late spring. And then the neighbor came over and said, oh, it's going to be a storm. And my mother went out and started like nailing stuff down. I was just like, and then the storm came and left. And she says, is that what those people call a storm?
That's funny.
That's not a storm at all.
She was preparing for that kind of
Yeah,
storm.
we were- that's
A
like-
Wizard of Oz kind of
Like
storm.
a hurricane. So. I remember when I was a kid, we lived in a house trailer. And my dad had made this house trailer addition across the street from where the trailer court was. And he always was proud of himself because he said that he spoke to the guys that owned the trailer court, and that was the highest place, so that if there's ever flooding, you would be more or less safe. And but he decided to weather this one hurricane out, and him and my mother, my mama, they said to me that the storm was too big and they should have gone to Granny's house, which is what we normally would have done. And instead, we were in this trailer, and my mother says that they were going to take the whole family and go from the trailer to the car.
All right.
Because the car wouldn't be blown away as much.
As much.
And so
Which
she
I-
talked about we were going to make this move when the eye of the hurricane passed over us. And I remember I asked my mother to cover my head with a blanket because I didn't want the eye to see me.
You had the same mind even back then.
Right. But, you know, I think that maybe for another film, or maybe,
I feel the rain.
you know,
I feel the rain,
I always
I feel
wanted
the
to make
rain.
like an animation of some of the things I remember when I was a little kid. Like a little, like 5 and 6 and 7. But I'm still got many more films in me. But right now we're doing the Fly's Eye 3D. I wouldn't be outside. Are you outside? Where are you? Yeah, I would stay there. You see how bad the rain is? Yeah. It's raining sideways. Did you look outside? You should go up on the roof. Yeah. So here's the you get a video of me putting up
How late? Look.